What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another show of The Reckoning, where we discuss sports, and more sports. I got my co-host with me, New York City OG. New York City OG, what's going on, my brother?
Tramel, how are you doing on this hot afternoon? Heat wave New York City. Hopefully you're keeping it cool.
It's definitely hot, and it's definitely hot in the sports world. Let's jump into our first topic of this evening. Brittney Griner sentenced to 9 years in Russian jail. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts. First off, my thoughts and prayers are with Brittney Griner and her family and friends during this time. She is simply being used as a prisoner of war, and she is a political pawn due to the fact that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, especially with Russia invading the Ukraine at the time that she was abroad.
You know, I agree with that, and I want to look into this on a little deeper aspect, the labor issues in women's sports in America. You know, time and time again, when the WNBA season is over, you see a lot of the women's stars going overseas to supplement their income, to make extra money, because they're not being paid enough for their talent, you know, inside the United States. You look at the men making hundreds of millions of dollars over like 5 years. The women don't get nowhere near close as that. So, you know, they go overseas to supplement their income. And, you know, to me, that's a major labor problem. And, you know, I see this also a lot on social media. You know, LeBron wouldn't have never had a CBD oil or whatever it was. But you want to know what? LeBron will also never be overseas playing for another team to make money. You know, so like I said, there's plenty of issues in women's sports in America that need to be addressed, and we are seeing the repercussions of it. But let me ask you something, New York City OG. Do you think that she should be held accountable for having that CBD or whatever it was and know the laws of the country that she's going to go on to play in and things like that?
Well, they were saying that it was hashish oil and vape cartridges. I was also reading some stuff that Russia was trying to accuse her of trying to distribute those items in Russia, which I believe is truly false media speculation. You know, again, this is Russia. She has clearly been trapped in the kangaroo court. You know, I can't say if it was for her personal use, but again, I'm going to go with wrong place, wrong time. I believe, you know, or presume that she's traveled with this stuff before. But unfortunately, at this time, Russia, the Ukraine invasion, Russian police saw an opportunity. And as a result, we now have been saying free Brittney Griner and that the Biden administration needs to make something happen. But at the same time, Russia and the KGB want all negotiations to be held private. They don't want it to be made public. So we really honestly need the support of the media to fall back so Brittney can return home to the US of A.
Now, you know, looking at her situation, you know, strategically, I put myself, you know, how the Russians are going to think in this situation, the KBG, how they're going to think in this situation. I mean, I knew that they were going to find her guilty. I knew they was going to give her a stiff sentence, because strategically what they want to do is that they want to do a prisoner exchange with the United States. Like you said earlier, Brittney is a prisoner of war. So now they have somebody who the United States want, right? And there's a lot of political pressure to get BG back home to her wife, her family, and her friends and her teammates. So you hit her, you sentence her to a harsh sentence, because they know that the United States cannot leave her sitting there for 9 years. They can't even leave her sitting there for 5 years. 1 day is too many. So the Russians are going to ask for somebody in return. And, you know, they're going to get somebody in return who pose a real threat and danger versus someone who only had CBD oil that was medically prescribed to them from their doctor. So, you know, this is the world that we living in. But, you know, we have to free BG. We can't forget about her. And every day she's staying in that cell in Russia is 1 day too many. So we need to bring her home. Any final thoughts? New York City OG?
Yes, on the plus side of the matter, even though things seem and look tragic, they have actually sped up her trial to make this exchange happen because they said that there's someone who's out there who was there for 18 months before they even received a trial. So the fact that she pled guilty and then less than 2 to 3 months later, they handed down a decision. So I believe Russia is doing what's in their best interest to get their political prisoner of war. So I'm just hoping and praying that we see Brittney Griner back on U.S. soil before the holidays.
I agree with you. You know what? Let us know what you think in the comments. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.